House. I'm Ron Jones. Let's get straight to our top story tonight. We're talking about teen takeovers. This is a trend that we have been hearing about over the last couple of weeks throughout Metro Atlanta. And tonight, 11Alive Chase Howell tells us the latest places working to crack down on any possible takeovers.
We've seen it before. Teen takeovers turning out terribly bad. Just last weekend, 14 people were arrested and 11 guns were seized during a teen takeover on the Beltline. But now, Henry County Police say teens plan on taking over Urban Air in McDonough off of Jonesboro Road.
Nowadays, the kids are taking over and overstepping the parents, and the parents don't have too much of a control on their kids.
Brianna Rivera and Byron Kearns have 4 kids. They say none of them would be caught at a teen takeover now or ever.
I'm a parent on top of my kids, so with my kids, I hope to instill a level of understanding where so they respect me enough to respect our wishes as parents.
And the Henry County Police Department wants parents to be on top of their kids like Rivera and Kearns. In a Facebook post, it's telling parents that if they drop their kids off unsupervised and they're caught acting a fool, they could be held responsible criminally, financially, and legally.
And look, it's not just the Henry County Police Department or parents warning kids not to go to one of these teen takeovers, but so is an 18-year-old I spoke to. She says she wouldn't go to it, and she wouldn't let her friends either.
How you act will almost contribute to how far you go, because everything now with social media, there's a footprint of whatever you do. One video can ruin your life.
Emma Britt just graduated high school last year. She says hearing what happened on the Beltline and at the Battery is insane.
One dumb mistake can lead to a life-changing or a life-ending decision, and that's ultimately something that I've grown up with, and that's been a saying my whole life, and that's how I feel about all of that.
Reporting, Chase Howell, 11Alive News.
By the way, the Henry County Police Department says it's going to have an increased presence at the Henry Town Center Shopping Plaza this weekend. Now, several other Metro Atlanta businesses and properties are implementing teen curfews to prevent or even stop these teen takeovers, including Cascade Family Skating Rink, Cumberland Mall, South Lake Mall, and the Battery, of course, in Cobb County. Hey, folks, we're following some breaking news out of DeKalb County right now, where a student is recovering after being shot with a pellet gun. So officials say that a bus from McNair Middle School had just pulled into a neighborhood when someone shot a pellet gun at it. We know the student was injured, and right now police are still investigating.
I'm Marissa Sarbach reporting in Woodstock tonight, where earlier today there was a SWAT standoff with a suspect at one of the businesses here, Arrow Automotive. It all started with a call from Holly Springs Police to Woodstock Police at 1 o'clock this morning involving a domestic dispute of a Michael Johnson. Holly Springs officers said he had a firearm here at his business and was heading to that business. Holly Springs PD also told Woodstock he had a warrant out for felony possession of a firearm out of Cherokee County. Now take a look at this video from the heavy police presence that shut traffic down completely on 92 for about an hour this afternoon. At 9:15, that 911 call came in from a third party, according to police, that Michael Johnson was back at Arrow Automotive threatening to harm himself and law enforcement. Around 1 o'clock this afternoon, Woodstock police say they got a warrant and showed up with Cherokee County SWAT, Holly Springs Police, and the Marshal's office. They were involved in a standoff until Michael Johnson was taken into custody around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Woodstock police tell us Michael Johnson was intoxicated and heavily so at the time. He was taken to a local hospital. They do also say that there is no threat to the public at this time. Reporting in Woodstock, Marissa Sarbach, 11Alive News.
And just into the newsroom, folks, Atlanta police say they are looking for a suspect accused of assaulting a teacher outside of the World of Coca-Cola. So this is video showing this attack. This all happened November of 2024. Police said that a man approached a teacher on Baker Street, knocking her to the ground without any reason at all. This is right near Centennial Olympic Park. Police say the victim is a teacher from Savannah who was in Atlanta with her students on a field trip. Police say the woman hit her head, lost consciousness, and sustained significant injuries to her head. Now look here, these are photographs of the suspect. Crime Stoppers is now offering a $5,000 reward for information that leads to his arrest. And we have some new details tonight from prosecutors in Hall County who say a 4-year-old girl found dead in the trunk of a woman's car was actually placed in that woman's home by Georgia's Division of Family and Children's Services, better known as DFACS. The DA's office announced Wednesday that it had plans to seek the death penalty for Jessica Moats. She was arrested back in October. Warrants state that Moats caused the child death by blunt force trauma and by exposing her to fentanyl, meth, and a sedative called xylazine, better known as Trank, on the streets. Moats faces multiple charges, including felony malice murder. All right, let's get to our weather impact forecast. And I tell you what, our chief meteorologist is standing by with this beautiful weather. Is really warming up out there, Chris.
It really is. And, you know, we got so warm today, we were 1 degree away from tying a record. We hit 80 degrees today. The record for today's date is 81. Now, tomorrow, we think we will break a record with that high making it up to 81 degrees. So here's the timeline of when we will most likely be in those lower 80s. It'll be tomorrow afternoon between 3 and 5 o'clock when we do hit that high of about 81 degrees. So I know that it was warm today at 80. We're just talking about 1 degree higher tomorrow. So if you didn't bring out the spring clothes today, you'll want to do that for tomorrow. You know, still a little on the mild side in the morning, but maybe a light jacket. But in the afternoon, short sleeve shirt should be just fine out there. So here's a look at those records. We're forecasting a high of 81 tomorrow, but the record for tomorrow's date is 80. So that would break the record. Now look at Saturday, another degree higher, getting up to 82. The record for Saturday's date is 80, so that would also break the record. Slightly cooler air. Now, I hesitate to say cooler because it's not really cool for this time of year, because the average high for this time of year is 63. So 77 is still well above the average, but also below the record. The record for Sunday's date is 82 degrees, so we should be staying below that. Here's what we're watching over the next 12 hours. A rather mild evening, still in the 70s at about 8, 9 o'clock, and then falling into those 60s, lower 60s here tomorrow morning, and then warming quickly again tomorrow with that mix of sun and clouds with that record-breaking high in the afternoon. We're also watching, with this warmer air, the potential for some scattered showers to develop. We're breaking down those rain chances in just a few minutes.
Now to the latest on the U.S. strikes in Iran. Just hours ago, the House failed to pass a war powers resolution that would have reined in some of the president's actions in the Middle East. A similar measure failed in the Senate on Wednesday. And right now, there are thousands of Americans still trying to get out of the Middle East as those strikes continue. NBC's Chris Pallone has the details.
The U.S. continues to bombard Iran now 6 days into the war and shows no sign of letting up.
We're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi pushed back today in an exclusive interview with NBC's Tom Yamas.
What was their goal? They came here for a regime change, perhaps. They came here for a rapid victory so they can, control everything. But they have failed. The system is working. The commanders have been replaced, and the supreme leader is going to be replaced soon.
Araghchi was defiant when asked about a U.S. ground invasion.
Because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Iran has targeted American military bases in at least 15 other countries, which led many nations to shut down airspace, airlines avoiding the entire area. The State Department says it's begun charter flights to get thousands of stranded Americans out of the troubled area.
Over 20,000 Americans have been able to return to the United States since this began, including the provision of direct assistance to nearly 10,000 Americans by our 24/7 task force.
But thousands more still waiting to get out.
After many phone call attempts, I've finally gotten through. They said that, as long as I'm registered with the STEP program, and also I did fill out the crisis intake form that was just released. So they definitely know that I'm here, and now I just have to wait on the government.
Iran's threat to burn ships trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz is having a direct impact on gas prices. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of gas is $3.25. That's up 5 cents in just one day and 27 cents in a week. Drivers in Florida waiting in long lines to fill up.
It was expected, so we got to get gas.
The unfortunate aspect, prices are not going to remain where they are, and the really unfortunate part, they're not going to be falling from where they are.
That was Chris Pallone reporting for us tonight. Straight ahead, a bill to shield Georgia families from higher power bills could get a second chance tomorrow. More on that when we come back. Right now, we're following the shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. This afternoon, President Trump announcing that he is replacing Secretary Kristi Noem, who has been at the forefront of the president's immigration operations. NBC News is reporting that the president became frustrated with Noem during her testimony on Capitol Hill this week. So we brought that part of that testimony yesterday right here on 11Alive News at 6. After Noem promised to review the detention of Gwinnett County man in ICE custody. The president has now tapped Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to replace Noem effective March 31st, although he has to be confirmed by the Senate first. Noem will serve in a new role called Envoy for the Shield of Americas. She thanked the president for the appointment this afternoon. All new tonight on 11Alive Plus, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is now reevaluating the future of its largest detention facility. Camp East Montana opened up 7 months ago outside of El Paso, Texas, and is known as it has a troubled history, including 3 detainee deaths in just the last 6 weeks and outbreaks of tuberculosis and measles. The Department of Homeland Security says it's reviewing the facility's contract and looking for ways to improve detention centers to provide better care for those in custody. So here's the thing. Camp East Montana currently houses nearly 3,000 immigrants, but ICE is looking to build much larger detention centers all across our country. So right now is looking to convert a warehouse in Hall County into a detention center that could house up to 10,000 detainees. This is according to officials in Social Circle, who say that they're really concerned about the stress this facility would place on the city's water and sewer systems. Now, NBC News is reporting that at least 2 DHS contractors have expressed concerns about housing more than 1,500 people at one facility at a time. But Georgia lawmakers face a really tough key deadline tomorrow. Crossover day is when bills have to pass either the House or the Senate in order to get a chance at a final passage before adjournment in April. 11Alive Doug Richards is at the Capitol with more.
Mr. President, I move the Senate stand adjourned to pursuant to H.R. 998 until 1 p.m. Tuesday, March 3rd.
Last week, Republican leaders abruptly adjourned the state Senate instead of taking up a data center bill on its calendar. Backers had hoped to pass a bill to protect residential electricity customers from having to pay higher rates caused by their massive demand for electricity. Republicans and Democrats had supported the bill that got snuffed.
It's a shameful day, quite frankly, in the history of the Georgia Senate. I've never seen it. It really is wrong.
So the question is whether that bill can get revived by crossover day Friday. Some lobbyists expect to see it again, but without the teeth of the version that died on the vine last week. Former State Representative Doug Teeper puts it this way.
So the legislature is going to pass a bill that does not protect the bill payers from subsidizing the largest corporations in the world.
Teeper hopes he's wrong, knowing that Republicans and Democrats signed on to the original, stronger version of the bill that he hopes could reemerge Friday. At the Capitol, Doug Richards, 11Alive News.
We've been telling you we're monitoring some showers and storms developing out to the west. The National Weather Center has just issued a tornado watch for parts of Texas and Oklahoma. I'll let you know if that system will make it to us. It warmed up today. We got up to 80 degrees for our high. The record for today's date is 81, so we missed it by just 1 degree. Now, we still have a chance to break some records or tie records over the next couple of days, and I really think we'll break one tomorrow. If we get up to 81, that would be a new record for tomorrow's date. We're also going to see a sun and cloud mixture, but then watching for the afternoon hours into the evening, the potential for a few scattered showers to develop with maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning, but we don't expect any of this part for Friday to turn severe. We're watching tonight, just a few clouds around, no real rain to be concerned about. We had a couple of showers to the south, but as those try to move to the north with that southerly flow, they are falling apart. But here's the area we're watching. We have showers to the north, and we've been telling you about the potential for some developing showers in Texas and in Oklahoma to turn severe. Well, the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center have just issued a tornado watch here for parts of Texas and Oklahoma. I know you don't see anything there yet, but we will see some of those storms that'll be developing, and that's where we have the potential, a level 3 of 5 risk there in that same area where that tornado watch is in effect, that we can see some severe storms, a level 2 surrounding that, and then a level 1 around that too. We're not worried about any storms developing here tonight. Tomorrow, you see the light green color, that's just general showers and a couple of thunder showers possible. 30% chance for some scattered showers around, but if any of those develop, we don't think they would be severe. That severe weather threat is still out to the west with another large level 3 risk area. Now, going into Saturday, the Storm Prediction Center has put much of our area, including Metro Atlanta and North Georgia, in a level 1 risk. Now, I don't want that to overly concern you. I'm not overly concerned about it. We may see a couple of isolated storms that could turn strong, but on Saturday, the rain chance is at 30%, and a lot of the ingredients needed for severe weather stay to the north and also to the west of us. So it's just a low risk for a couple of stronger storms to develop possible later on Saturday. Right now, we have temperatures at 77. That's after getting up to 80 degrees for the high today, mainly mid and upper 70s all around. Carrollton and LaGrange a little cooler there in the lower 70s. We're going to watch these temperatures rising again tomorrow, getting up to 81 degrees. That would break the record, but we're also watching the potential for some of those scattered showers to develop in the afternoon hours. So here's the forecast track showing the dry conditions tonight, a few clouds around in spots, maybe a couple of showers south and east of us, and then during the day tomorrow, dry for the first part of the day, and then the second half of the day with some of that heating and the moisture around, that's that 30% chance that you may get hit by a shower. It wouldn't rain all day. We're going to have a lot of dry hours around too, and that's pretty much similar for Saturday too, a 30% chance for showers with highs near 82. Again, both of those days would break records. A little higher rain chance Sunday, bringing our temperatures down to 77, and then low rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as we heat back up to the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday, watching for another storm risk coming in on Thursday.
Looking forward to that warmer air, Chris. Thank you. You know, the Paralympics is going to kick off tomorrow in Milan. 11Alive Short Preheim has a look at how Atlanta's ceremony held 30 years ago is connected to this competition.
Paralympians are in Milan Cortina, next level strength, talent, inspiration. And did you know there's a direct connection between the games in Italy happening now and Atlanta hosting 30 years ago? When the 96 Summer Paralympics were in Atlanta, organizers here helped push the Paralympic movement into a new era. It was one of the first Paralympic games with major global sponsorship and international broadcast coverage. It helped introduce millions of viewers to elite disability sport, and that growth is still visible today. At the 2026 Winter Paralympics in Italy right now, 665 athletes from about 50 nations are competing across 79 medal events, part of a steady expansion of the Paralympic stage. So from Atlanta to Milan Cortina, the movement continues to grow, proving when the world invests in accessibility and visibility, sport becomes stronger for everyone.
By the way, you can watch stories just like this one on the go when you download the 11Alive mobile app onto your smartphone. Just scan the QR code on your screen. Straight ahead on 11Alive Plus, how a high school coach is now breaking barriers on the basketball court. Next. Welcome back, everyone. At North Atlanta High School, the varsity boys basketball team is getting a lot of attention, not for its play on the court, but for the leadership on the sidelines. 11Alive race, culture, and religion reporter Danielle Nottingham shows us how their new head coach is shaping the program's culture.
Oh, there we go. Come on, shoot 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Even in the off season.
You got it. That's 1.
North Atlanta boys varsity basketball coach Crystal Wells keeps her players in step.
1 more. Come on, hit another one. I never really said if it was going to be a man's team or a women's team. I always wanted to coach in the WNBA and the NBA, but I never really thought that it was such a big deal until it actually started happening. Just, you got to get 2. Give them some good footage. There it is. See?
What happened is Coach Wells became part of a small group, one of the only known women serving as head coach of a varsity boys team in Georgia.
I used to walk in rooms and gyms and they're like, hey, the parent section is up there. Or, hey, the girls team already left. Like, no, I'm here for the guys.
Coach Wells knows the game well. She played college basketball and has coached at the collegiate level. In her first season leading North Atlanta's boys program, the team racked up 19 wins and made a run to the state playoffs.
Season was amazing. We ended it on a loss, unfortunately, but everything comes to an end. The kids played extremely hard.
And for Wells, the focus isn't on being different. It's on building a strong program and helping her players succeed on and off the court.
I try to teach real life lessons, and I just think this is what God called me to be, so I'm glad that I'm able to be one of the first. If I'm not the first, one of the first, or the one that everybody knows is to be the first. So it's exciting. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
In Atlanta, Danielle Nottingham, 11Alive News.
I ain't never lied. Keep the camera going. Let's go.
Keep the camera going. Let's go. Man, she is absolutely fulfilling her calling, and we really appreciate all she's doing with the young people. We'll be right back. Tonight, Atlanta police investigating after someone stole several bikes used for free after-school programs. So they were taken from Propel ATL trailer. This is on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Northwest. The advocacy manager says that the bikes were stolen. They were for the shifting gears class, and they were to teach kids how to ride bikes safely. All in all, 26 bikes and 24 helmets were stolen from the trailer. A huge loss for those kids.
This class is solely for kids. And it's this crime. I mean, my heart sank when I got the call that all the bikes were gone, and I said, surely not all of them, and all of them are gone.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation. So the group has now set up a page to collect donations as they work to get funds to purchase bikes and get that program up and running. And hopefully someone either turns the bikes back in or they can raise enough money to make that happen.
Yeah, you need a bike right now. It's just
Yeah.
so nice outside,
It's
right?
beautiful.
Yeah, to get out and enjoy it. We've got the beautiful weather with temperatures that are well above the average. Tomorrow and Saturday, we think we'll be breaking records, getting up to 81 and 82 degrees, but also watching about a 30% chance that you might get hit by a shower tomorrow. Nothing widespread, a lot of dry hours. We're just talking about the scattered showers that could pop up in the afternoon, really both Friday and Saturday. Rain chances slightly higher Sunday at 40%, then lower rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with temperatures back to the